Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Catherine and today's video is going to be a June 2023 reseller recap. So if that is something you want to watch, then please stick around. All right, if you are new to a reseller recap, well, welcome, and welcome to my channel if you're new in general. So I am a part-time reseller. I sell on multiple different platforms, the main one being Poshmark, eBay, Mercari, Depop, places like that. And so what I like to do every month is I like to analyze my numbers to see where things are going. I like to notice trends. I like to actually make sure that I'm making money, right? I mean, that's the goal. Although I have fun with it, I also want to make some money with it. So these types of videos, I do have a series on my channel. I can link up in the corner for you. Basically, it just allows me to go over all my numbers, share it with you, see if you find that interesting or not, and we kind of go from there. So to get started, I always like to talk about my total amount of sales that I had for the month of June. So I had $1,552.47. So that is the total amount of money that I basically was sold throughout the month. So my total cost of goods, or the amount of money that I spent on those items, was $349.87, which left me a total profit of $1,202.60. So like I said, I am a part-time reseller, so I don't really expect to make a whole lot of money off of it. Like, I'm very satisfied with the $1,200 that I made. So I do have a full-time job, so this just the profits just help, you know, pay a little extra something here or there, traveling, any extra goodies that we feel like we want for the month. That's what that covers. So I'm super happy with $1,200. So the amount of items that I sold for the month was 63 items, which is very nice. Roughly, you know, 2 items a day. My average listing price was $32.43, and then my average cost of goods, so the average cost that I spent per item, was $5.55, which I feel like has been a little bit lower compared to some of the other months. I can't quite remember, I'd have to go back and check, but very satisfied with $5.50 per item. My average profit per item is just over $19 at $19.09. Obviously I would want that to be higher. Cost of goods lower, average profit per item higher, but I'm satisfied with where I'm at right now. Now, what was pretty nice was the average days to sell. So from the average day of me listing an item to it selling was 33, which I do remember my last one being like 42, I think. So that was pretty good, which we'll get into the notes later on of my thoughts on that, but pretty happy with that. And then the numbers on each platform. So I sold 8 items on eBay, which I feel like is a good number. eBay is not my main bay. Poshmark is for sure, but I was super happy with 8 on eBay, 6 on Mercari, 2 on Depop, and that left the rest 47 items on Poshmark. So now getting into, I always like to break these down into my lowest profits to kind of show that not every item is going to be a banger, and then into my highest profits, and then we kind of go into bundles and some other notes. So jumping into the lowest profiting item was this Slip Pure Silk Sleep Mask in Plum. I'm gonna put all the pictures in the corner right here. This did sell on Poshmark. My cost of goods was quite high, and the only reason it was high is because this was a part of my Beautylish Lucky Bag that I got for the beginning of the year, which I can link up in the corner for you if you're interested to see what other items I got, because this channel is not only reselling, it is beauty content and reselling combined, my 2 favorite things. So if that is something you want to watch, then definitely consider subscribing. So this one was in my Beautylish Lucky Bag, and you know what, I just decided I don't think this is something I'm going to enjoy. So when I broke down the cost of the items in that box, it was $16.50 per item. Now, I did sell it on Poshmark for just $16, so yes, I did lose money on it. If you're doing the math, I actually lost $5.72. And what had happened is I usually go through and will send out like progressive sales throughout the week, or progressive offers, I should say, on Poshmark. So like the first day I'll send out 30%, then 40%, then 50%, and 60%. Well, when you do it automatically through Poshmark, you kind of have to scroll through and choose the items that you're doing it. Or how I do it is I just include all of the items, and then it's much faster for me to just unchoose the items that I don't want to be offered. Well, I forgot to unchoose this item because I knew I would lose money on it. But you know what? Somebody snagged it up, and instead of canceling the sale, I ate the negative profit and just let it go. But this did have a lot of interest in it. It did sell within 17 days of the first time of listing it, so it sold relatively quickly. So my next lowest profiting sale was this postmark from Anthropologie. It was this really cute little dachshund print top. It did have a flaw in it, a flaw that I didn't realize when I was at the thrift store, or I probably wouldn't have picked it up. But it did sell on Poshmark. My cost of goods was $4. Again, if I would have known that it was flawed, I probably wouldn't have paid $4 for it. But I did, and it came home, and I still sold it. So it sold for $10. So my profit was $1.03. It did sell 71 days into the first time of listing it. My next item was this Eloise, another Anthropologie brand, this long line blush bralette, super pretty little, very pale pink bralette with, I think, like almost orange sherbet color details on it. This sold on Poshmark. My cost of goods was $2.63. Again, it sold on a 60% offer for $10, so that profited me $2.40. It did sell within 113 days of listing it for the first time. So where I'm at now, I'm relisting items. I try to relist them every 4 or 5 months. So that definitely would have been in the time that I would have been relisting it. So it sold before I relisted it. The next item, also another flawed item. Obviously I don't try to pick up flawed items, but if they have flaws, I'm not afraid to sell them. This was a onesie water print tie-dye high-waisted, I don't know why I call them midi leggings. Maybe that's what onesie calls them, midi leggings. But they did sell on Poshmark. Cost of goods was $2.41. They sold for $10 and I profited $2.62. They sold 172 days within the third time of relisting them. So this was an item that, to be honest, was probably just a bad buy. They weren't as popular as I had initially thought. So that kind of tells me, this data basically tells me that maybe onesie is just not a desirable brand anymore. And then in my last little grouping of my lowest profits was this Wild Fable, which is from Target. High rise wide leg Bermuda jean shorts. They sold on Depop. My cost of goods was $4.23. They did sell for $15, and so I profited $6.64. They sold in 73 days of the first time of listing it. So now I talked about my lowest profits, so let's talk about my highest profits. Those are always exciting. So one of my highest profits was this Tucker Nuck Faye blouse in blue and white wildflower. It was new with tags. It sold on Poshmark. My cost of goods was $5.68. Sold for $70, so I profited $50.32. It sold in 1 day of listing it, so the first time of listing it. I'll always love those sales that you can sell within 1 day. That's always awesome. The next item was this pair of Macus Cortris black leather slides with stud and feather details, super pretty little sandals. They were made in Greece. A lot of these items, I should say, I have hauled them on this channel, so I can link up in the corner my whole playlist of thrift hauls. Always fun to watch like what I thrift, how long it how long it takes me to actually list items and then sell them. It's a full circle moment. But why I picked these up is because they were made in Greece, and A, they were made in Greece, B, they were just like super duper cute. So those sold. My cost of goods was $5.68. They sold for $72. So I profited $51.92. They did sell within 21 days of the first time of listing it. Very exciting. My next item I actually sold on eBay. These were a pair of Thursday Everyday Premier Low Top sneakers. They're this beautiful like black leather sneaker with the white midsoles. Very just classic looking. Sold them on eBay. My cost of goods was $10. I should say they were also like a huge size. They were like a size 16, something like that. Really large size. Something you don't come across every day at the thrift store. My cost of goods was $10. I did sell them for $75 plus shipping, so it was $87.55 all in, or total for all in. Now I sell like Shay from Rustic Goddess Resale. I will link her channel down below. She also does a lot of great hauls. So my profit and everything was $57.43. They did sell within 13 days of listing for the first time. And then my last two items, both vintage items, which we'll talk about in a bit, but the first one was this vintage North Face olive puffer vest, which I know I hauled in my recent garage sale haul. So I have a local community that we put on garage sales twice a year, so always like to go through that, and found it in that. This did sell on Poshmark for $2.92, sold for $87. $87 for a vest. That's bananas. So my profit was $66.68. It did sell within 45 days of the first time listing it. And then my second vintage item that sold, and this was my highest profit of the month. This was a vintage Saks Fifth Avenue dress with this ostrich feathers. Super pretty little mini dress with sequins all over the top, and then on the bottom half skirt part was all these like ostrich feathers. It was a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous dress. It did sell on Poshmark. It sold for, its cost of goods was $8, sold for $100. So my profit was $72, and it sold within the first day of listing it, of the first time listing. So amazing. I knew I saw it and I had to have it. So I'm glad I went with my gut. So I also like to talk about bundle sales. Some months I get them, some months I don't. I do have an ongoing 2 for $40 sale, so that kind of encourages bundles. I always like to obviously encourage bundles because, as you can see in my room, I am inundated with inventory, so the more that I can move out, the better. So I like to encourage sales, and to do so I like to encourage like the current sale is any item that's currently priced $99 and below. You can pick out 2 items for just $40 total. So my lowest bundle was a bundle of this Gap New Classic Utility Cream Caramel Jacket. This actually was a personal item. And then the other one was Smart Wool Akimina Crewneck Sweater. So my total cost of goods was $20.23. Basically what I do with personal items, I just kind of zero them out. So, say for instance, an item sold for $20, that was a personal item, then I just say my cost of goods was $16, so my profit would be 0. So that's why the cost of goods was a little bit higher for it. But it did sell for $40, so I profited $11.77 for that bundle. Interesting, because Smart Wool, I hear everybody talk about Smart Wool and they're like, it's so fast selling no matter what condition it's in. This Smart Wool took a while to sell for me, and it was in amazing condition. So I don't know, maybe things just sell differently for different people depending on, I don't know, depending on a lot of things. So that was my lowest bundle. And then my highest bundle was also part of that 2 for $40 sale, but it actually was 3 items. So it sold for $60. But it was made comprised of Madewell Dolman sleeve ruffle hem mini dress in Flower Garden, this Akimi and Kin Anthropology Petra mock neck sleeveless blouse, and then the last one was this Soaking in Luxury polka dot Oda shirt dress. So my cost of goods for everything was $12.50, sold for $60, and my profit was $35.50 for that bundle. So some new things that I wanted to include in this reseller recap was like, did I have any same day sales? Because I think that's always important to know, like what items are literally selling within that same day that you list it. I actually had 3 this month. That's crazy. 3 same day sales. The first one was this very out of the blue Kopari, which actually is a skincare brand. I got some PR from Kopari. If you're ever interested in checking them out, I will link, they're linked down below in my description. I do have a code that you can use to get so much percentage off. I will put that on the screen right now, but I got a PR package from them, and they sent this really pretty checkered shoulder knit bag, very, very kind of 90s, 2000s look. I knew I was never going to use it, just not my style. So I listed it just to see. There was no comps for anything, so my price was just kind of like, I think I'm gonna try this. It sold the same day on eBay for $25 plus shipping. So I guess if you come across any Kopari branded items, maybe pick them up if they're in the right price for you. It's sold the same day. Another item that sold that same day was this Free People olive green out and about tank. It sold on Poshmark for $35, and it was also a full price sale. So that is like literally the epitome of what I would love to happen every day. Something sells for full price within the same day of listing it. Oh, that's like the heavens opening up and shining down on you. And then the next item that sold same day was this Arc'teryx Cala dress. It sold on eBay for $50 plus shipping, which I think was, I know it was somebody had sent an offer for it or had made an offer and then it like automatically accepted it, because on eBay I always put like a range, so if like it will automatically accept if somebody offers this amount of money. So very exciting. So talking about full price sales, just told you about the full price sale that Free People, and then also the one above, I forgot to list it, but we did talk about it. It was the, what was it? We talked about in the lowest and highest bundles. Now I can't, let's see. Thought we had one more. Guess not. But we did have that one that we just talked about. So for my 2 for $40 sales, I wanted to keep track of like how this was going. And so I actually sold 6 bundles within, this promotion, I guess, making it 15 items total. So I would say that that's doing pretty well. And something that I'm gonna continue to do, just an ongoing promotion in my closet. In July, I also did a $15 flash sale. Basically, the lowest amount you could pay was $30 for 2 items. But this is my ongoing sale, the 2 for $40. So I always like to give myself some notes for everything. So the first thing I said is 2 vintage items being the highest profiting items. And it makes my noggin wheels turn of like, should I be looking more for vintage? Should this be something that I start incorporating more into? Because I am not a vintage seller. I know very, very little about it. I just know if I like an item that like I think is really pretty and still looks modern, then I will pick it up. But who knows? Maybe I should start incorporating this more. My other note was just the average days to sell was way down. I mean, it only took about a month for things to sell. And I had many same day sales and same week sales. So I was looking through my numbers and there was a lot of items that sold within the same week of listing it, which is very good. Also, many items I'd only listed for the first time, which means I'm not having to relist them, which means that people are actually searching for them, which means I'm doing better at sourcing. So that is always exciting. And then my last little note I had to myself was that all of my Depop and eBay sales have all been promoted. So I promote or boost, which it's called on Depop. I do that for all of my items on Depop and all of my items on eBay. I have noticed eBay's, because I usually just kind of go with what they recommend, and what they recommend used to be around 10% per item. Now it's up to like 11 or 12. So, you know, if it continues to rise like that, I don't know if I'm going to be able to continue to do it. But at this time for Depop and eBay, totally worth it. I really don't think I'd see any sales if I did not promote my listings, but I did do the Poshmark beta testing of promoted listings. I'm sure if you don't know, I'm sure there's some other videos out here talking more about it, but basically like you set a budget per month. My budget was $40, and you don't get to choose what you promote. It just it's almost like per click of what you pay for. I did have a lot of clicks and I had a lot of impressions, but I only had 2 sales. And I think one of them was $30. I think both of them were like $30 sales, and it would have cost like $40 to do it. So not something that I'm going to be continuing on with. I just don't think it's worth it for me, but it would be interesting to see how that changes the Poshmark game when that is no longer beta testing. Let me know your thoughts down below. Like, do you sell on Poshmark? Did you try it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? I'm hearing a lot of consensus of people not liking it and not thinking it's worth it. I also didn't think it was worth it, but who knows? Let me know your thoughts down below. And with that is my June 2023 reseller recap. Super ecstatic about everything. Yeah, it was a great month, and it really did help pay a little bit extra bills when things got a little bit, you know, out of budget, things like that. I got a thrifted Peloton, so that definitely helped pay for the Peloton, which also really enjoyed Peloton, by the way. So if you're on the fence and you have the availability to do so, we got ours off of Facebook Marketplace. Would 100% recommend getting a Peloton. But like I said, totally happy with this month. July, not looking so great. I'm filming this video a little bit later than I normally do, but July, I can tell you, is not looking super hot. Summer slowdown is upon us, and I'm feeling it. But if you are interested in this kind of content, beauty content, like I said earlier, consider subscribing, leaving a like on your way out of this video, hopefully watching another one of my videos, and comment below, how was your June 2023 with reselling? Even if you're not a reseller, how was June for you? I want to hear all the things. And with that, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.